Can you save $1.30 on every gallon of diesel every day, week, month, year? How much money is that? The cost of fuel is the single largest expense for trucking companies, accounting for 30 to 50% of total expenses. That's why Evan Pohaski, CEO of Greenlane, joins us live to discuss why owner-operators love using this mobile app. So please say hello, share your thoughts, grow your network, and learn from the best on ATI Auto Business. What's up, ecosystem? Welcome back to Industry Logistics on ATI Auto Business, where some people learn more about how the automotive industry really works. You know what's cool is that, so I'm live on YouTube, I'm live on LinkedIn, and you're on the phone.
Yes.
All right, well, cool.
Because today is not my day, Jay.
Hey, well, but I have this slide where you can see you on the screen now. I forgot it. I have this slide called Sue Slide, so we can run that.
Okay.
In lieu of you being able to join us by video.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool. So let's see here. What do we have for today? Let's click screen share. Okay, so this is show 203 on Industry Logistics, previously dispatching live. And we changed it because, we're not really dispatching live anymore.
No, we're not. I think everybody's kind of has the gist for it, except for maybe newbies. But
right. And even them, they won't be in business very long, so it won't matter.
Hey, we should discuss the fact that there's over 50,000 loads on the board, though.
Okay, we will. Okay. And by the way, Evan's like, hey, man, where's the love? Why are you guys talking like that? Evan Pohaski is with us today, CEO of Greenlane. Now, here's the deal. Save up to $1.30 a gallon. Are you listening?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Wow.
Yeah, that's good.
Greenlane offers unmatched security and savings through a user-friendly mobile app with access to 2,500 plus premium travel centers across the nation. So yeah, use this app. Now I know that we've heard of fuel discounts before. We've heard of mobile apps. So I want to learn more about Greenlane because maybe this is the app that you should be using. I'm sure there's got to be owner operators like, man, I don't know which app to use.
Right, because I think there's several that give you discounts. Like I know Flying J does.
Right.
And we've even come across some that did factoring and offered some kind of fuel card if you factored with them too.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Well, so we're going to learn maybe Greenlane just moved up to number 1. We're going to find out. Look for this logo. So it's a green logo with kind of a black sideways Pac-Man V. It's not Pac-Man. No, it's not Pac-Man. It's Greenlane. Fuel smarter. All right, cool. So yeah, this is pretty cool. We're going to learn more about it. I always talk about get to know your ecosystem. The ecosystem's neutral zone. We prove it. Golly, do we prove it. I had this crazy show Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Supply chain chaos and port congestion. Now, this is cool. This guy, Abe, with Simple Forwarding, finds me online, sees the show, and is like, I don't know. Let's give it a shot. Let's do a podcast. This guy and we barely know each other over an hour Tuesday night.
Wow, cool.
Talking about tariffs, international shipping, little bit of politics. He kept it cool while I pushed the envelope. You know how I am.
No, say it isn't so, Jay.
That's crazy. That was a great show, really, and that was neat. And so here's what's happening. Camera 1 is that I know to the detriment of the automotive industry, more people are finding me and ATI online and want to see what it's like to do a show on ATI. Right? That's really, really neat. Comes at a good time. Because It seems like the people that know me are either trying to ignore me or like ransack my house and put me in the back and seat of the trunk of the car and take over my show. It's the craziest thing. I don't know what is going on. I arrived here many years ago to help the ecosystem and try to show the way to do a podcast in automotive. Boy, did that not work out. Oh my God. Anywho, we still go live on many Thursdays on Industry Logistics, and that was a good show 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Outsourcing broker logistics support. Yeah. When we met Arel.
Yes, and I've talked to Arel several times since then, so yes.
Good. Okay, yeah. He really wants to do another show, okay. But the thing is, I have a stack of emails. I have so much that I haven't gotten back to. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe sometime, but yeah, if you're talking to them, that is awesome. Truth, I'm not in touch with brokers. Brokers don't talk to me.
Yeah.
They don't want to talk to me. No.
Well, we have a couple, but they don't want to be on the show. Let's put that way.
Well, they'll talk to you. Yeah, but see, I bash, brokers
right.
think
they
that I'm bashing them.
Right. You're right. They talk to me.
Well, which is what I call truth in automotive. They call like personal attack. And because that's what's happened. The automotive industry is now such a snowflake. Yes, I said that. The automotive industry is full of high school cliques and snowflakes that if you say anything critical, you're attacking. No, I'm just talking truth. What happened to the truth?
Yeah.
I know you're talking the truth behind closed doors. Well, I'm going to talk it out in the open.
Well, there you go.
Jeez. What the heck happened? You just started this show. Already gone crazy. Busted a vein. Danielle Spinelli was also on that show, and I got the link. I got the link to the cargo. You know what? I missed it.
I did too. I didn't get the notification in time, and I don't know why.
Well, people don't watch anything on time anymore. That's just the way. That's how life works now. But I got the link. I'm going to share it in the live chat.
Yes, because I really wanted to watch that show, and I realized I missed it.
So anybody watching, like, what are you guys talking about? Okay, so theft is about to happen.
Left and right.
She had this really awesome show. So cargo theft webinar. And that's the link. It's in the live chat. Okay. So here, I'll send it to you.
Okay, cool.
Cargo theft webinar. I'm texting Sue live. It's yeah. This is a PG rated show. So, but if you need the URL, let me know. See, and here's what's funny. Camera one. I talk like this. It seems like I'm talking crazy. I've attacked the automotive industry several times today already. And you know how many people are watching the show? Yeah, the views are up, folks, because there's nowhere else to go for the truth.
That's true.
It's crazy. It's freaking nuts what's happened. And you know what I also wonder? I'm just going to say this live. When AI comes in and kicks all of our butts, you think AI is going to just have a bunch of fake bullshit news? No. God, no. No. Although, maybe. Actually, maybe.
Yes, maybe.
Fake bullshit news brought to you by AI. Wow, what a show. Hey, did you get the memo? Okay, so speaking of, now this is real, right? This is actually from Central Dispatch. We have updated our safer requirements for all carriers and brokers accounts.
Yep. This came from a broker.
Okay.
That sent it to me a couple mornings ago.
It's a legit communication.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So what is your understanding of what this says? Because obviously they don't talk to us anymore either, so we just have to figure stuff out on our own.
The way I'm understanding is they're trying to stop like theft and whatnot, okay? But his complaint is like that we're being forced into doing this. And it should already, you know what I'm saying? It should already be.
So, all right, I'm going to play devil's advocate, which is something I do all the time. And that is that Isn't that a good thing, though, if you're updated in Safer with Authority for Hire and Motor Vehicles as your cargo? Wouldn't that be good?
I would think so. That way you could
I would think so.
verify,
Yeah.
what needs to be there. I think it's the problem is being forced into it for him.
Well,
You know what I mean?
heaven forbid we force somebody to do something that we need them to do. Oh, God. I'm just saying. I mean, listen, if it's going to improve security and it's a few clicks, really forced?
I think he's upset because it's on the broker side. I understand it for the car hauling side completely. You know what I mean?
On the broker side.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. I stand corrected. Look at that. Jay corrected live. And he admits it? Really? All right. Well, it's just part of the whole
So,
third rail of living as a broker.
well, and
Okay,
this is
that's
the way
how you-
he's taken it, is because
Yeah.
auto haulers and freight are two different things.
Right.
It should not be one and the same. And that's what he's.
Do you agree then? Do you think that this is kind of dicey for a broker?
I think it's kind of. Yes, I do think it's kind of dicey because I don't know if the fact that they're under the threat of account termination. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
It's kind of.
But I guess what other options are there?
Well, true. I mean,
Right? What are we going to put you in? I mean, I don't know. Put you in the sandbox that doesn't exist? Here's what just went through my mind. We know that they're in touch with major big brokers. What do major big brokers have to say about this?
that's a good question. That'd be interesting to talk to.
I mean, we're never
somebody
going to know.
No, but it would be nice to
Yeah.
hear from
In fact,
Metro or United
There was a
Road or
body
something
just
like
dumped
that.
out of a plane somewhere.
Well, and I mean, let's see. It says here.
We're on LinkedIn. You know somebody on LinkedIn's watching this going, what are we showing? Okay.
And here's
And
my
they're still
question.
watching. They're like, oh my God, an actual entertaining show. All right, that was too much.
Well, and how fast can you really get on the Safer account and do stuff? Is it really work that fast?
I don't know. I'd love to learn a little bit more. And that's what I find so strange. But it's this is the automotive industry, man. Take it or leave it. Actually, just don't let the door hit you on the way out. Is that we don't get we just get these, it's random whisperings of changes and, take
Right,
it or leave
and then all of a
it.
sudden,
Good luck
it's
with
wham
that.
bam. It's just like
Yeah.
they
Have a
went
good
from
day.
us.
Yeah.
Like, for example, here's a prime
Don't
example.
have a good day.
Yes, I would agree with you. 45 days is what we were doing ratings for. Now they changed it to 15 without any notice. And if they're doing the notices, here's the thing I don't think they understand. Remember back in the day when you logged into your account, there would always be that page up there that says, okay, this is what's going on, blah, 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 blah. This is your notification that this is happening, whatever. I don't know if they realize, but most people are already logged into their account. They don't log in every morning. They don't see this stuff. If we had seen the fact that they changed 45-day ratings to 15, trust me, we would have been on it. You know what I mean? But now we've missed out on several broker fees because we always wait till the last minute. We give them a fair, shot to get it taken care of. Obviously, we can't do that any longer. The other reason why they had changed it to 45 days, and I think they've forgotten that, was the fact that there's many brokers out there that do 30-day pays. How are you supposed to give someone a negative if we got to do it within 15 days? We don't know they're going to pay now within 30 days or 45 days or 60 days. Whatever they want to do, we still can't give a negative now or tell anybody about the fact that they do not pay in 30 days. In fact, I've got one going on right now just like that. Prime example.
And yet, do you know what I heard after you said that?
What?
Crickets.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
yeah.
We live the automotive industry. There's no bones about it. In the automotive industry today, if people complain, just let them complain, ignore it. They will eventually die and stop complaining. And then we can move forward with all of our wonderful news and we're all good. Woo-hoo-hoo! That's the automotive industry. So what you just said, there's probably some folks out there that feel the same way and they're about to go out of business. They will stop complaining. They will die and we party. We can party.
Well, and I will tell you that most companies don't even know that they changed this from 45 days to 15.
Oh, of
Guarantee it.
course not. Well, that's exactly right. Who's going to get this information? What are we going to do? Email them?
Yeah.
We'll put it on the front page. You're clicking past it because you're already freaking out. You're not going to read that.
No.
And if you do read it, you're not going to think about it. And a
Or
few people will
remember it.
do it, so some people get kicked off. Who cares? Maybe they don't
Well,
even get kicked off. They
no.
just get another email. Right?
Right.
Hey, man.
True.
Okay, listen. If you pay now, we won't kick you. Okay, I made that up. That's not even a thing, and I haven't mentioned any company names, so everybody's cool. We cool?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. All right, I think we made a point, or at least we said our, whatever. This show will be over soon, anyways. Don't worry about it. We'll die too. Okay, but before we do, we're gonna save some money on fuel.
Cool.
Are you seeing the pattern here? Somebody's like, wait a minute, this is a trick. They say they're going away, they're not going away. Is it part of the PR campaign? Who is their PR guy? He's a genius. Do me a favor, stick around right after this. We will be back with Greenlane. We're going to learn more how to save money on diesel. We'll be right back.
Are you completely stressed out from all the calls and the contracts and the verifications of loads where nobody ever answers the phone? Call Murphy Auto Dispatch Services today. Murphy Auto Dispatch Services has over 15 years in the transport industry. We are your office while you are on the road. We book, we verify, and we bill out your loads for you. We have an excellent accounting staff and an even better dispatch team. Give us a call today at 417-273-0021, or if you want to email me, it's murphyautotransport31@yahoo.com. Give us a call today.
That is the voice of Sue. She runs a fully licensed dispatch office. Wait a minute. Sue, you still doing that?
Yeah, I'm still doing that.
Okay, so you right now, are you taking on drivers?
I'm not taking on any drivers, but I do have some of my other dispatchers that do have spots, yes.
Exactly. So your business has changed a little bit, but you essentially still do dispatch and brokering.
Yes.
All right, you're the
Yes.
pro. If you need help, visit Murphy Auto Train. What is the best way to get a hold of you, by the way?
Probably email me or text me. Email me at murphyautotransport31@yahoo.com, or you can text me 417-255-6230.
Okay, cool. Yeah, 6230. What I'm doing is I'm putting that into the live chat right now. All right, cool. So we got that. All right, please do help me wish a very warm welcome to today's guest, CEO of Greenlane, Evan Pohaski. Evan, can you see me and hear me okay?
I got you, Jay. Thank you so much for welcoming me.
All right, awesome. It's good to have you here. Full disclosure, we barely know each other. We've only talked, once?
Yeah, that's right.
Meaning I'm learning along with everybody else. And I like that format. So do me a favor, please say hello and tell us a little bit more about you.
You got it. Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time to learn a little bit about me and about Greenlane. We got a great story, and I've been in the business, transportation business, since about 2012. When I was coming out of school, partner and I started a small little business, tri-axle, six-axle dump trucks. We were out of southwestern Pennsylvania, doing a lot of work in the oil fields at that time, and that's how I got my feet underneath of me. We were doing a lot of work in aggregate, lease roads, well pads, and things like that. The business evolved, and we began to do some flatbed work. And the ups and downs of the market. And 10 years later, it ended up being one of the largest for-hire flatbed carriers in North America. And so we were real proud of that. We're real proud of our experiences in the business and, the awards and the accolades, but, of course, very tough. And the Greenlane team got their feet underneath of them back in 2023, and I joined them late in 2024 to help kind of, really build out the product and give it a little bit more tissue and integration into the trucking community like I had been for the prior decade. But that's a little bit about me, Jay.
Okay, well, good. So, and let me say this is that as we move forward here, we are talking trucking, freight in general, not necessarily car haul.
Mm-hmm.
But as we know, when it comes to fuel, well,
No.
there may as well be no difference.
Right.
That's right.
Right. So, and you got my attention there. I mean, okay, so I looked it up. Fuel is the number one. I verified. I mean, I thought it was true, but I always like to make sure. Fuel is the number one expense on a truck, for a trucking company. Is that right?
It is for an owner operator, absolutely. It's your biggest category expense. For a fleet owner, you're going down through the P&L. You've got salaries and wages. You've got your net fuel expense, which is your fuel expenditure less your fuel surcharge, tractor, trailer, maintenance, tires, variable expenses, tolls. But yeah, it's right up there. And fuel is something that is a controllable expense. And I think that everybody would appreciate in your audience coming from a trucker background. It's not just the cost of the fuel and what you're paying, but it's also the cost of fueling. And so when we built Greenlane to power a smarter fueling strategy, we tried to put that angle into it to make the product much more informative, much more practical, at the grassroots level.
So, all right, cool. So, other than the actual cost of fuel, what are some of the ways that your technology helps reduce time and expense? And we're going to go into a bit of a demo here in a minute, but I want to keep talking about it. What are some of those things, like strategy, etc.?
Well, there's two things that I think we do better than the average bear here at Greenlane. Number one is the network that we've curated at Greenlane. It's one that most fleets and most drivers, I think, appreciate. It is one with the strongest brand names that offer the very best in the trade service amenities, showers, clean showers, high quality diesel, of course, parking, so on and so forth, safe on highway, so that you're not spending a lot of time off the beaten path. As it relates to, what you're paying, drivers and fleet operators today have a lot of options. The fleet card itself, there's probably two or three in everybody's pocket that's watching this, this cast right now. The fact of the matter is you really got to understand what the net cost of fuel is regardless of the discount. And there again, Greenlane tries to, put that out in front. So when you use our technology, our route optimizer, it's going to be much more informative. It's not just going to be a plethora of all these different options and kabla, here it is. It's more curated to ensure that the person looking at that can make an informed decision.
Yeah, that makes sense because I know, right, as we think of AI, this isn't going to be an AI discussion, but just the smarter technology is obviously part of any tech conversation. But also, like, I know if I'm using an app, I do appreciate if it can think a little bit for me. And so in this case, not only do I know where the next fuel stops are, but do I have information beyond that?
Of course. Yeah. I mean, you're really kind of planning out your route, getting back to the days of the flatbed business, and how we ran our trucking company. We were always looking downstream, always pre-planned, but you have to take all these variables into account, where you're going to be at what time and things like that, and do your very best. At the end of the day, technology can only solve some of the problem. It's still really, what you put into it. At Greenlane, I think we've done an exceptional job making that, very practical so that, people can action upon it, okay, get out in front of it and really use the technology to plan and take it another level than just your traditional fleet fuel card and discounts.
So let's say I'm an owner operator, because you mentioned owner operators and how, this is beneficial. So if I'm an owner operator, right, let's think about, and it would be helpful if I was an owner operator, but I think I can. And Sue, help me out. I'm the driver. I'm in my truck. I've got my in freight. I think you probably have a different kind of manifest and other things, but you got your ELD. You have your dispatch. So you're thinking about your route. You're probably thinking about what phone calls you're going to get, what phone calls you need made on your behalf. So you're letting people know, right? Because you've got detention and you got car haul, you've got your schedule. But you're now on the road. You've already figured out where you're headed. Should you then launch Greenlane and it's got where you're going to fuel next? Talk me through what that looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great way, Jay, to get the best out of the product. It should be a pocket companion. Almost the metaphor I like to use is it's a component in your toolkit, in your toolbox. So, fuel prices, they do fluctuate. They fluctuate throughout the day. And having that pocket companion with you and being engaged in the app environment certainly helps you pick up the right strategy. It certainly helps, as things change, loads cancel, things like that. You want to be in front of those things, always looking at it. So, yeah, absolutely. You would want to be in it. You would want to look at it. You'd want to take advantage of the intelligence that it offers up.
And then I'm assuming, I don't know, I'm going out on a ledge. Is there like a reporting mechanism in there so then I can see how I'm doing? Let's say I've been using it for a few weeks or a few months. Are there reports inside of Greenlane?
There are. The product's gone through several phases of evolution. We had a stats page in there that gave a lot of those different type of metrics and things like that. We got a lot of feedback from the users of how they would like to see that reinterpreted, and so we're currently working on reevaluating that. And fortunately, we got a big release coming up here, so stay tuned. And everybody that is using the app or is potentially new to it, I would absolutely suggest going and get ready for it. But we do have standard reporting available in the app, for compliance purposes, IFTA and whatnot. But you'll be able to go in there. You'll see, how you're comparing your aggregated savings relative to blank. You can look at the different paths that are available. It would really help inform on fuel surcharge, make sure that you're getting fairly compensated for things like that. Again, we want to make it more than just the discount itself, is really think about the net cost of what you're paying, okay? Also what the net cost of going to get that fuel is.
So security is another big topic. I understand there's some security in your app. Do you want to talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, the best way to start that conversation, Jay, is every trucking owner operator understands that safety is the cornerstone to every profit center in the P&L. Absolutely. We're talking about security, but we also think about creating a world-class safety environment, and it begins with the members of the community. We do have a verification process in our application. Some people like it, every now and then, some people don't, and that's okay. But we want to ensure that we're able to extend the very best possible prices and discounts to the members. And so ensuring that the people that come in are part of the community and want to use the technology appropriately is first and foremost. Fuel card fraud is a multi-billion-dollar issue. Okay, cards get lost, they get skimmed, chargeback happens, and that can be crushing and debilitating to a business. And we've seen instances, where it's really, really hurt companies, fleet owners, and independent owner operators alike. We take a very, very, aggressive approach to that. You can use your favorite debit card or credit card with rewards. You can use that as a linked payment method within our app. It allows you to keep that instrument, okay, in your pocket so you never have to use it at the fuel pump. And use ours, okay? When you go in, I'll show you a demo in a second, how you can authorize, and we digitally re-encrypt your payment card, your member card every single time you transact. It's safe, secure, and reliable. Or you can use a convenience code, which you input at the pump itself. And so, we're really blessed. We're very fortunate that we've had hundreds of thousands of transactions, and every single day there's thousands of members that use the product. And we've never had one instance of undefeated fraud, and we take it very seriously.
That's awesome. All right, so do you want to share your screen and show us a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. And then we'll go to questions. If you have a question, please put it in the live chat. If you're watching on demand, you can put it in the comments below, whether you're on YouTube or LinkedIn. And we're going to take a look at a quick demo here of Greenlane.
Can you see this, Jay? Sue's this up?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see if I can get it down there. Okay, so let's start with our fuel map. Today, I mentioned that we have a very curated network, some of the best brand names in the travel center space. We have close to 2,600 locations across the lower 48. We've got, Love's, Pilot TA, so on and so forth, Racetrack, Road Ranger. And our members on average can save up to about $1.30 a gallon on diesel and reefer. We do have the ability to purchase DEF as part of the purchase flow. But, we look to, like I said, Jay, curate that network, make it, something that drivers would want to make use of the extra amenities, the parking, the showers, and things like that as part of our network. When you go in and you use the tech, you'll be able to see all those things. You can explore the travel centers themselves, updated facilities, amenities, things like that. It really helps inform the strategy. So this page shows you where we're located, all the travel centers that we have. No matter where you're at, I would say it's pretty safe to assume that we're going to have some locations that would work for you. The savings are fantastic. Couple that with the extensive network, it's a really great option for you. This is our fueling experience, Jay, and I'll walk you through it from left to right. With Greenlane, paying for fuel is extremely, extremely easy. Once you go in and you find a location that works for you, whether it's, you're just pulling up, or if you've used the route optimizer to go in and plan where you're going to be fueling, you have to be on location for it to work, okay? And once you go in, you can select the product type you want. This is the second screen over, Jay. Diesel and DEF or reefer. You can choose the amount that you want to. Very conveniently, right there in the center screen, choose how much DEF you want, 0, 10, 20, and 10-gallon increments. You will have a payment card on file with us, okay, or you'll have pre-funded cash in your Greenlane wallet. I'll show you that in a second. We will authorize, okay, that payment method on file. And the second that takes place, it's usually 2 to 3 seconds, you'll either get a start code, which you can input at the pump, or you can conveniently swipe your member card. That member card, like I said, is digitally re-encrypted. So the second that it's used, it's dispensable, So you're in a good place with that. It's that simple. Here is a picture, Jay, of the digital wallet that we have. And this is something that's very unique in the space. We do offer instantaneous fund transfers. So when a member securely links a bank account, they can quickly load their wallet with pre-funded cash. And that's a really terrific option. We've seen a ton of people since we've launched this feature, Jay, in January begin to use it. I think people are getting much more accustomed to that payment method and like it. We do offer some rewards and promotions when they do that, and we're able to extend, of course, to the membership base better discounts based on that that payment method. But this is it, okay? Great product. The most ways to pay, industry-leading security, fantastic network. Keep it in your pocket. It's your companion. It's going to help you save on diesel. Fleet owners use it. Independent owner operators use it, and we've got a lot of great stuff for our members on the roadmap.
That's great. Great information. I'm going to do this. I'm going to take the screen back. Yeah, perfect. Okay, FAQ. And I'm going to lean on you also for commonly asked questions. But Sue,
Yes.
do you have any questions?
No, because I don't. I mean, this would be great
Right.
for my drivers, so I can hand it off to them. But I kind of understand what we're doing here. But
So I'll ask this: do you know of it? Do any drivers talk about? You don't have to name the company, I guess. But do you think that some of your drivers use fuel apps?
Yeah,
we've never really discussed it, honestly.
Right.
I always hand it over to them if I get an email or something like that, and I'm like, here you go, because I really
Right.
don't get involved with their business expenses. It's
Right.
kind of their thing, and most of them, if they go to the big fuel places, they usually figure that stuff out too.
And I was just going to add is that when I was dispatching, so before I was a media star, I was a dispatcher, and so one of those is true. So I was dispatcher, and occasionally they'd say, "Oh man, that's going to cost a lot in fuel." Usually, if it was a deadhead. Otherwise, I don't think we really talked about fuel much either.
Exactly.
But having said that, Evan, what is a commonly asked question about Greenlane or saving money on fuel or how this works?
We most of the questions that come in are with respect to how we pay, okay, which is one of the reasons why we had that in the demo here. It's very safe, simple, and secure. People want to understand if it's simple to use, and it is. We position it as an alternative to the traditional fleet fuel card that has been around for decades and decades and decades. It's a better alternative that keeps you secure and gives you more options with more visibility. There's not a lot of questions. It's very intuitive in terms of the product. It's built by a great team that understands trucking, has been in the space for quite some time. When we do get questions, they're, typically about do we hold authorizations on a credit card and things like that. And those are important. Guys and girls, they need to have access to the funds. And, we built Greenlane in a way that ensures that those settlements happen virtually instantaneously so that those funds are released and, people can make use of that. I think that we do a great job differentiating in that regard and really on on the edges, building a great product that, people have a lot of trust in.
That's awesome. Here's a question. So if I'm standing at a pump, I pull in. I'm standing at pump 12. I pull up my app. I do that slider. I only want to spend $300 on pump 12 today. How does it? Could be a tough question. Don't know. How does the app connect to pump 12 or that station that I'm just going to spend $300 and I chose it on my slider? Does that work?
It does. So we have direct integrations with all the fuel merchants, which is how it works on the back end. We don't do, the dollar amount that's ultimately authorized is a byproduct of the gallons. Okay. So when you go in, you don't authorize technically a dollar amount, but you authorize for the product type and what you anticipate you're going to dispense. Okay. We will then authorize through the application and the fueling takes place that easy. If you went in and you wanted 100-gallon, and you end up putting 90 in, okay, we would authorize for whatever the dollar equivalent of 100-gallon, because that's what you said you wanted to get. And then the difference gets released afterwards. Pretty safe, pretty simple.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I tell you, as a civilian, I've always wondered what's the solution to, how you have to, if you pay with cash, you have to prepay. And I've always thought, I wish that I could prepay and know what it will cost me to fill the car rather than guessing. Now, we're not there yet, but maybe in the future, smart vehicles can tell you need to spend, based on the gas price, you need to spend this amount to fill this tank. Right? Because right now we're just guessing. I'm like, well, maybe it's $30, maybe it's $25. Now, I'm way off the map here, but that's what I do. This is ATI. So you've done a great job of explaining Greenlane, answer the questions. Before we let you go, Sue, do we have anything else? Do you think you have any drivers that have any questions for Evan?
No, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, and I'm definitely going to be shooting this to them all.
It's on Android. It's on Apple. So you're basically using it on your phone. What if I use an iPad? Can I use my iPad?
Should.
You can.
Yeah.
Most are just on the phone. I'd say 99.5% it's just all on your phone device.
Right. Okay. And so you install it, then you add your payment method.
That's correct. You'll add a payment method in order to transact. We will ask you to go through a verification process. Again, have comfort that that information is privileged and confidential. We're creating a world-class security environment for our members to keep them safe and ensure that we can get the best possible prices out to them. That takes you 2 to 3 minutes to get through, and you're ready to rumble.
So if I let's say, it's already lunchtime. When I finish my sandwich, I go download the app, I add my payment method, get the verification. Could I be saving money on diesel today?
Yes, you can.
That's crazy. Let's do it. Evan, thank you so much for joining me today. That was really a great segment.
Yeah,
I appreciate
thank you.
it.
All right,
Sue,
I'll put
thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much. All right, I'll put you in the waiting room. Thanks a lot, Evan. We'll be in touch.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, thanks so much. All right, cool. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Greenlane, they found me online. Said, hey,
That's cool.
what's going on? What are you doing? Why you act so crazy? What they said.
They did not.
That was everybody else in the automotive industry was thinking that. Anyways, oh yeah, I have some other news. Do you want to do some AI news?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Susan, if you're just joining us now, we finished the interview segment with Evan. We're going to do some AI news. This is going to get awkward. Grand Island Express uses AI to drive greater load visibility, help boost load volume by 35%. This is Dispatch AI. I know. But I mean, it's coming. It's here. We're going to talk about it. That's what we see. That's what we do on ATI. We actually talk about what's actually happening. So, anywho, 170 truck Nebraska-based reefer carrier has removed most of the human element of dispatch, layering optimal dynamics artificial intelligence with data gathered by the fleet's McLeod, dang it, platform, order entry, driver events like home time, or if a truck needs to get back to the shop, breakdowns and such. See, this is where it got my attention, because you know how drivers, as you fill out your driver profile, they're telling you things about their personal life that they want you to remember when you book loads. Right?
Right.
Right? Like my favorite color is purple.
And my shoe size is 8. Yes, I get
Right.
it.
And you forget. You're typing, but you can't remember all that when you're booking loads. So
No.
there's that. All right, it takes the best driver for that load. This is going to get interesting because the Optimal Dynamics AI platform removes any human bias by selecting logistically the best available driver and pairing it with the logistically best load for that driver, which you're no longer playing favorites. Uh-oh. AI still considers important outlying factors like upcoming home time, maintenance needs of the equipment, and the color purple. Okay. It sees home time. It sees events like that, as long as our data input is correct. But it's pushing into that driver's hours more than we would probably to protect the home time. AI sees the opportunity, knows it gets reasonable. Okay, that paragraph got long quickly. AI is also able to forecast and anticipate loads the carrier doesn't yet have. Say what? What? AI is I'm going live on this one. AI is able to forecast and anticipate loads the carrier doesn't have yet, meaning the company doesn't have yet. This is where it gets weird. Because okay, so what we're saying is it knows what to wait for. It might say, lay this driver over because you're going to get a great load tomorrow, which as human beings, you know what, you and I do that, right?
Right.
We've said, hey, yo, hold on. Just hang on. Give it a minute. But you got to have that right amount of minute. That kind of foresight has enabled Grand Island Express to plan loads up to 4 additional days in advance. Again, this is trucking, not car haul, but it's still applicable. It's planning out further, even if we don't see it in the plan. It may dispatch a driver from Nebraska to Pennsylvania today, and that driver might be a Nebraska-based driver, has got home time coming up or something like that. They're really into home time in this article. The AI knows that we've got a customer load there in Pennsylvania that's going to get us right back, so it's anticipating things that aren't even in the system yet, because it understands your customers, and it's identified your customers' patterns, which again is why it's important to have customers, right?
Yeah.
But maybe it can analyze load boards, even the really awesome ones, for patterns. Like, you better take that because there's only cheap loads coming. If you were one of those go-to drivers that pretty much got whatever you asked for, you were probably a little bit disappointed going into this because in your mind, to get the best miles and the best home time, you got to take this load to get here so you can get back. The driver's got a preconceived notion of what that week needs to look like, and the AI changes that a little bit. Uh-oh. It's going to make some different decisions. For those drivers that were these go-to drivers, might take some time to adjust. But in this article, the person talked to one of those drivers, and they said, man, I just want to tell you, AI is making a difference right now. Interesting article. So, what's your got any takeaways? Any thoughts? Any concerns? Any?
No, I mean, I think it's a fantastic idea. I think if you could save anybody money that in this day and age, I don't think there's anything wrong with anything like that. You know what I mean? I don't know what it compares to other apps out there. I have no clue because, like I said, I've never used anything like that. I was just kind of send my driver in the direction of whatever's out there and let them deal with that. We should have had a driver on here.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, I tell you what. What I think on the dispatch AI is that. So, I was watching another AI webinar before this show. Here's what's going on. Jay, what are you doing these days? Because nobody's talked to you. Well, I do a lot of AI training and experimentation now. Because I know, like, everybody's trying to tell us AI is gonna be here. It's here. And so what does that mean? I mean, what does that mean, right? Like, it's a weird, it's like being told there's a tornado coming and you look outside, you don't see a tornado. And they keep saying it and you keep looking and you're like, wow, I don't know. I don't understand. That's kind of how AI coming is. So, I don't know who's going to do it. But one of these companies one day is going to introduce some AI into a load board and into a mobile app. And we need to understand how to make it help us rather than think it's, some kind of problem. And in this article, I think it's 170 trucks. If you add AI, you could dispatch more trucks at a time. That's actually, and I've said that before. Yeah. I remember I maxed out at 5 to 7.
Right. Me too.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if I maxed out at 20?
That's crazy.
Right? It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Yeah, it is going to happen, but it's crazy. And I feel like there's so much stuff that could slip through the cracks with that. You know what I mean? It's hard to trust that.
And that's why we're talking about this. Because we're going to have to work through some of these valid concerns and some of the unknowns because we can't see the tornado. But it is coming. It is here. And I would love, this is actually why I think it's my job now to call out the automotive snowflakes. Because, hey guys, camera one, please start focusing on actual news. Rather than all this hype and leadership, oh my God. If you still need all this leadership, what have you been doing your whole life? Not paying attention at all? Stop with the leadership. We got it. Okay? Let's start talking about what's really coming, what's really changing. Like, I read a headline the other night about a traditional media company actually posted a headline, "Ignore the tariff noise." That is so stupid. Come on, man. Listen, anyways, the AI is, but I'd love to know who's going to do, I'm going to call it out on this show. Who's going to be the first company in logistics in car haul to actually promote AI without it being fake news? Because I'm going to call that out too. Just like we get all kinds of fake news. We're number one and we're up in your fraud and all this crap. Right?
Right.
We're up in your fraud. That should be a podcast. We're up in your fraud. Okay. All right, Jay. You've been here long enough. Viewers are dropping off. They're falling like flies.
Good.
We were live on LinkedIn today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and the reason I said it, I've been paying attention to my settings.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work Tuesday night.
Oh.
But it's working now. It didn't work 2 weeks ago Tuesday night, but it
It's
worked 2 weeks ago at noon.
It's because you didn't use AI to do it.
Right? I'm being boycotted in more ways than one. I'm aware. Man, as I said Tuesday night, I haven't changed. I've been doing the same. I mean, maybe some of my words and emotions have changed, but basically doing the same thing since 2017. So if you've decided that you're not into this or whatever it is, you changed, not me. I've been here the whole time. And that's the show. Show 203 is in the can. Let's see, what are we going to do next? We're going to do no show next week.
Okay.
Okay? We're back on May 15th.
Okay.
Cover Fleet. We're going to learn about Cover Fleet with Rocky.
Okay.
Cover Fleet found me online.
It's
not working.
Can we
Jay's
discuss
not
what
going
Cover
away
Fleet is?
yet? Oh my god.
So
Cover
what's
Fleet
Cover
with
Fleet?
Rocky. I don't know. We're going to find out in 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Surprise.
I couldn't, right now, I couldn't even tell you.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
I like that. I mean, right? We are
Yeah,
the audience, right? We're learning.
Right, true. We're learning everything as it happens. I'm
Yeah,
cool
we're
with that
learning
too.
as it happens. Yeah, this isn't scripted. If this was scripted, that'd be insane.
Yeah.
That'd be one cray-cray screenwriter. Thanks, Greenlane. Thanks, 925, Giuliano, Evan, Janice, and everybody else live and on demand. Thank you so much. All right, I like it. What do you say, office?
Goodbye, Sue.
Goodbye, Sue. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Okay. All right. See ya.
Peace out.